So after running, I seem to be in a very long ultradian low, and this is quite a problem for my productivity. So the question is, how much training load exactly do I need to not enter a ultradian low that lasts for 2 hours, and thereby takes out 2 hours out of my work time of the day? The answer for me seems to be somewhere in between 2 to 3 kilometers. Now, that's not a lot, but it of course also could just depend on the time duration. And intensity, again, could potentially be gauged by taking the estimated heart rate max, let's say on my Garmin watch. It actually estimates my heart rate max, and also it updates it. So it updates this estimate every couple of runs. And so I could basically have an intensity score from 0 to 100, which is already kind of figured out with these zones. So if now I would want to gauge how intense a workout was, then I could just take basically the percent of the heart rate max that was average for the whole workout. So now if I assume my body has something similar to a battery, so if I now assume that my body is also kind of recharging at night, then I'm kind of simplifying, of course, but then my body is kind of like a battery. So that's potentially also the reason why Garmin then calls it body battery. Now, if I recharge overnight, then I'm at the maximum alertness potential, and then I basically go downwards. Maybe not in a linear fashion, but rather in a linear fashion and with modulations on top, which then are the Bragg cycles. So now, the question I am asking myself is the following. So, is it somehow possible to enter the ultradian low after the run, but to use the ultradian low as a trampoline, which is kind of the theory I'm subscribing to, that basically the ultradian lows I can basically get over better if basically right in the ultradian low I nap. Now this seems to also be very specific to me, basically having a few genetic predispositions, which I now won't dive too much into. So basically I'm going down, and now if I am able to nap in the ultradian low, then I can jump up higher to a higher absolute level compared to what I otherwise would have achieved if I would not have hit the ultradian low as a nap. Or I basically spent the time in the ultradian low in a nap. But there is now a big problem, which is that after cardiovascular exercise, my body seems to need awake regeneration. Because the cardiovascular exercise seems to drive up the intensity. And so there seems to be some mechanism by which then the heart needs to recover also while being awake. So basically the cardiovascular exercise and the aftermath of it, the recovery, kind of prevents falling into actually proper sleep. So this is kind of a paradox. So how do I then keep training cardiovascularly and thereby in the long term ideally improve my cardiovascular function, and thereby also basically as I age am on a higher basically line that goes down while still keeping up my productivity? So I still haven't quite found a very good solution, but the solution obviously needs to be that I eventually nap after a very intense cardiovascular exercise, or I cut it